Welcome to Slasher Sunday. Today I'm going to be talking about a film called Old 37 starring Kane Hodder and Bill Moseley. I picked it up at Mad Monster Party for $5 brand new at one of these tables. This company here was selling it, Epic Pictures, and because of the people in it, I was like, yeah, I'll pick it up. I haven't really got to talk too much about Mad Monster Party since I got back, which was earlier today. I didn't even think I was going to get done with Slasher Sunday, to be honest, because I just had so many things doing down there and then getting the kids and all this and that. But I was like, I'm not missing Slasher Sunday. I don't give a shit. So here's one of the things I got right here. Baghead Jason from Friday the 13th, Part 3. Got the Mark, right? Is that his name? Yeah, I think so. We got her here. We got Jenny, obviously, the young mom. And then Jason. So this really cool shirt. You'll see the other shirts as it goes on. I got 3 shirts and a Thing art book that Cecil Laird from the horror show bought me so kindly because he was trying to say thank you for coming down. Well, it was fun enough, man. I'll probably I might make a video. We did do like an exit video together and he got a lot of my thoughts on the event, but I'll probably do one just kind of showing some things that I got, some fun stories, whatever. I feel like it'll be a little redundant, but because those will be on his channel and not mine, I guess I should probably do that for people who aren't going to go over to their channel, but you should if you haven't. So subscribe to the horror show. You'll see my face on there a good amount over the next week or something. They're going to be uploading all their videos. They have like 200 gigs of video they shot for this event, so they're going to be uploading like crazy over the next like couple weeks, I'm sure. Let's get into the movie itself, though. Now, this movie, it's hard because, like, over in Killer Flicks right now, the theme of the week is killer groups. So I had just bought this one, and I was looking at it, and I was like, oh yeah, like Kane Hodder and Bill Moseley are a killing duo. So there you go, a killing group. So any movie that has more than one killer, you got that. We're going to be talking about spoilers here for the whole thing. This is Slasher Sunday, so this will not be spoiler free. It's going to get full spoilers. This is a review that I'm not really looking forward to because you guys know I'm not a fan of bashing films. I'm especially like lower budget stuff, you know, where I know that they didn't have everything at their disposal. So I want to cut them slack in a lot of different places, but that all being said, and as I said, I just freaking saw Kane Hodder like 24 hours ago. Really nice guy. But this movie was almost all but awful. Like, man, it was really bad. And that's a shame because I feel like the premise, the talent, and all of that, and I feel like even the budget and all that, I don't honestly know how movies like this get made. Like the generic, nothing new bullshit. Like that, I don't understand it. I don't understand, like, do you just like get too wrapped up in tropes and are you just too scared to try things that are new and fresh and interesting? Because you're trying to do an homage to films you once loved, like, but putting no flavor on them, it just becomes like redundant. I don't know. So I don't like doing this, but let's talk about the movie. We get this extreme opening, just trying for shock value, which is fine. I mean, I'm not that person who's against torture porn. Stupidest fucking subgenre title ever. Which I don't know why people, fuck it. I'm not going to get into it. You guys know how I feel about that by now, but fucking bunch of pussies out there. Let me tell you what. Horror fans all of a sudden have become wimps. Oh my God, it's just gore for gore's sake. Okay, what's wrong with that? I don't know. But it used to be like that. Like when we were kids growing up, there was fucking just like this Friday the 13th and all that. That's not torture porn? I don't understand the difference. Like, that's just gore for gore's sake. Like, don't say it isn't. It is. We're there to watch gore and tits. So why are those fine and Saw and Hostel aren't? Like, stupid. Anyway, but we get this extreme, like, gore for gore's sake opening, which is fine. It just kind of sets the tone. Like this paramedic tainted his kids' minds with murdering somebody, mutilating somebody in front of them. That opening kill and everything, I was like, okay, this is a decent opening. Like I can kind of get on board with this. And then almost the rest of the movie was awful. So these couple decides to fuck while driving. She's not blowing him. No. She decides to get in his lap and try to fuck him while he's driving, which is always a good decision. Drive responsible, people. And of course they get in a car wreck because they fucking deserve it. And the ambulance drivers come, which is Kane Hodder and Bill Moseley, and they kill them. Which, as I said earlier, the premise of this, look how fucking like bored I am, and I'm like trying to be peppy and I'm trying to be exciting and interesting, but man, this movie bummed me out. But going back to what I said earlier about this premise, I've mentioned this before. Like I got in a car wreck when I was like 18 years old, and I had to be helicoptered off the 5 freeway, and I was being obviously assisted by medics, paramedics, all that stuff, until I got to the hospital. And even in the hospital, this of course applies, but more so on the paramedic side of things. Like their life is so in your hands, and you're just kind of like confined to this little space, and these guys are sticking you with whatever, and they could drive you wherever, they could do it. Like it's a very vulnerable thing. And so the idea, and you can't really fight back, because this is like at your worst moment. This is when you really have no ability to protect yourself, because your body is so mangled and beat up and unable to be active enough to defend yourself. So I've always been kind of enamored by that concept of killer paramedics. In fact, my very first script I ever wrote, called Hospitalized, is the opening scene is about that. And it's like this, where the paramedics intercept calls and come and steal people away and take them to this hospital, and they have to go like through this gauntlet of terror. That script is very close to my heart, and honestly, like, not trying to pat myself on the back, but it's a fuckload better than this one. That sounds terrible, but it is. It's just risky and different, and it, I don't know. For me, that's better. Like I don't like safe films. Even if I enjoyed them, I fucking don't like them, because safe is boring. Safe is making a film that everyone likes things in it from past films, so you're just doing that to try to get a film liked. And it's like, no, don't worry about getting liked. Don't worry about making movies that people are gonna be like, oh yeah, like, fuck it. Like, just do what you want to do. Like, get weird, get creative, get different. And if people don't like it, fuck them. Like, who cares? Like, really, it doesn't matter. Like, you tried. And that's just it. Like, I love movies where I watch them and I'm like, that failed. Like, that was a big problem. And that's just for me. Obviously, everybody else can have a different opinion on that. But for me, I'll just sit there and be like, yeah, man, but at least they tried. Like, this is something different. I've mentioned this in the past probably 600 times now. You guys are probably tired of hearing about it. But movies like this really kind of just always get me into that funk of like, how the fuck do these get made? And why are they making them? Like, this is just safe garbage. And, so... yeah, no glowing review here, obviously. Let's stick to the film itself. So, so we get a lot of like drama in here, which is fine, but it really doesn't work, because like a film like this, a slasher movie of sorts, there's a lot of things that it depends on if the story isn't working. Because you can have a slasher movie with a story. It is possible. It's rare as fuck. But if you don't, if you're not a Scream or something, which I'm not a fan of Scream, but at least it has a fucking plot. An actual plot. Fuck, Halloween is my favorite fucking movie ever, and it has no plot. So that doesn't, it's, as I said, it's not necessary. Atmosphere is necessary when it comes to that. Like, when you fall short in one area, which is key usually in films like slasher films, the subgenre of slasher is like you have to ramp up other aspects in order for it to be appealing to the, target audience, me and other fucking chuckleheads. And the way you do that is by ramping up like gore, tits, stuff like that. Funny characters, funny lines, funny dialogue, funny fucking like kills, interesting, unique spins on kills, and there's none of that here. Nothing. There's nothing memorable kill-wise. There's nothing memorable. There's no nudity. The very little on-screen gore is clearly not very good, which it doesn't matter. There's plenty of fucking low-budget slasher movies or low-budget horror movies that I've watched where the gore is awful, but it works because of how they not only frame it, but also how they almost like view their film as it's going on. Like they can understand that they don't have the budget to take certain things seriously, so they kind of ramp up the cheesiness of it, which doesn't always have to be. There's ways around it, and this film wanted to take itself seriously, and that's totally fine. That I totally get that. But the plot points, dialogue, all that stuff was failing, so it just couldn't take itself seriously. It was kind of like this film that needed that extra punch of gore, tits, and all that. Okay. I keep just kind of getting off in tangents here, but it's really a bummer. So this girl's like, they got, as I said, there's a lot of fucking relationship drama. Two friends are fighting, so the girl goes out and she's hanging out with this guy who her friend thinks is a douchebag. The main character, Amy, she has her friend run off with these hoodlums, and she starts doing this like splits in between the car thing. You've seen it in a couple movies, and the girl in the back seat, Brandy, I think or Brooke, there it is. Brooke is in the backseat. She starts fucking with the driver, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And it ends up killing the girl because she's done this. And this Brooke character is this character you just want to die from scene one. But that's just it. Like, in addition to that, like, I don't like anybody in this movie. Not even the main protagonist, who doesn't even do anything wrong really, except for tries to steal the bitch's identity from her and wants to be like her, because she has some kind of like, body dysmorphia or disorder, or like, she's just super self-conscious, whatever. She's dealing with body issues. And so she tries to, kind of replicate, emulate, this Brooke girl later in the movie. But no one is likable. You want everyone to die. Amy, the main character here, I don't want her to die per se, but like, I didn't care if she did. And then everybody else, I was like, I hope they die, which isn't good for when you're trying to do a dramatic film, because I'm supposed to care about these characters when they're in peril. And I didn't. And that hurts the film dramatically when you're trying to be dramatic. So anyways, so they get her killed, and then we cut to them like in her fucking funeral. I think like every single time I drop my notes now, it's just become a thing. I don't even know where they are now. I don't even care. This Brooke girl's laughing in her funeral after she's responsible for her death, and you're just like, just kill this girl. And there's this like, and I get why they did it later, because Amy, is trying to imitate Brooke to get this dude. But in the opening, like, Brooke has a wig on, like a really bad one. And then she comes to the funeral. She's like, "Look, I just got my hair done." And it's exactly, and it's clearly actually that girl's hair. And then later in the movie, Amy goes to get her hair and her tits done and everything. And she throws on the wig, like she gets her hair done supposedly, and it's just that wig from earlier in the movie is popped on her head. And it's, I don't know, like, I get it, because they wanted to do this, like, her copying this girl, which is an interesting thought, like an interesting little dynamic there of like, gives her character a little depth and just kind of a little intrigue of like, what the hell is this girl doing? You don't kind of see that protagonist much. But as I said, I'm not going to harp and continue to just kind of beat a dead horse here, but none of it was working. Mom, I want a boob job. It's like, okay, honey, like we'll talk about it later. And then she like takes her, and then she gets it done like all in like quick time frame. And we kind of jump back and forth in time throughout this movie, and like doesn't work. I mean, they're trying to set up this sympathetic thing with Bill Moseley and Kane Hodder, and we're supposed to feel for both of them because Bill Moseley was beaten by his father, and Kane Hodder was mutilated by his brother. And I thought once the mask was taken off and the big reveal was going to happen, that we were going to see a much more disfigured man, something that was, you know, hideous, but not really. Just looked like a tooth was knocked out or something, and maybe he had like a lip scar, like a Joaquin Phoenix fucking hair lip surgery scar or something. It wasn't all that interesting. So that was a big shame for sure. Then we get this like music video. They go to a party, and there's like a couple minute music video, which the song's actually not bad, so it was fine, and it's not like a downside of the movie or anything. In fact, since I was enjoying the song, it's probably one of the better aspects of the film. And there's been plenty of films that I love that have like a music video of sorts where they're focusing on a band for way too long. 80s movies, like 80s high school movies, Better Off Dead and Just One of the Guys and whatnot have these kinds of events. And Valley Girl shit. The freaking Plimsouls play like 2 full songs in that movie, and they're both amazing, so it works completely. So it's not a bad thing. I just thought it was funny that it was just thrown in here. Maybe the guy who did this was doing music videos before, or was trying to showcase his skills as a music video director, so that if this failed, he had a job with his reel there. But anyways, yeah. And then they just keep showing why these kids shouldn't have driver's license. I mean, what does these kids have to do to pass the fucking driver's test in this place? Like, do they just like lay bodies in the road and they have to like run over so many in a fucking hour, like in a minute before, and then they pass if they hit like 6 people? It's ridiculous. Like they just do like flash forwards and backs, and they're just like dead. Like they're killing people in cars. It's so stupid. And that's just it. Like Brooke exposes the main guy that Amy's into in this. And she's like, yeah, you know, we hit some woman on the side of the road. We fucking hit and run, vehicular manslaughter, killed somebody. And the girl's like, oh my God, and like runs off. And then later in the movie, she's like dolling herself up, and they run into each other, and she's just like, yeah, like I want to go date it with him, and brings him home to mom, and everything's like copacetic, everything's fine. It's like nothing has happened. Like you guys didn't discuss this at all. Like, you know that he killed somebody. You just, slept on it and woke up and were like, he's so hot, I don't care. Like, wow, okay. I mean, I've seen some hot chicks in my life, but I don't know if I'm willing to look past fucking manslaughter, because they're probably going to get caught one day. Forensics these days. But even if they didn't, from just a morality standpoint, it's so dumb. She just gets over it like nothing. She just is obsessed, and I think that's maybe what they're trying to convey there. Like, I mean, she goes to the extent of changing her whole physical appearance, getting a boob job just to woo a guy. I guess it kind of fits her character, but if it does, and if these people are existing, like, it's just yet more fucking fuel to the fire that I want everyone dead. So, there's a really weird app where these guys can like track each other's phones, and like you can see like where his friend's located. That probably exists, but man, that's scary. Like that really a thing? Like track your friend's phone? I think you can do that with like a fucking kid's phone, or like you set up a specific app and let people in. I mean, I'm sure the government can track you, but I didn't know your friends could be like find you I guess you could just turn that off, right, or something. I don't know. I saw that and I was like, man, is that really a thing? I'm not the most tech savvy person with certain things, so. That was completely pointless to talk about, but I want to talk about it anyway. And then yeah, and then there's this whole revenge subplot to the killers, because at first you're thinking that they're out there killing for fun, and they're just following in the footsteps of their father, and then we come to find out that they're killing because their mother was hit and run, hit and left and died. And now we're not 100% positive if they were killing people before this. We know that they lobotomized the father, which was kind of a little twist there that I liked. The fact that we run into the dad later and he's sitting there and he's like fucking drooling and they didn't kill him. I thought that was kind of cool, but it seemingly started like that opening couple. I don't think they had anything to do with what was going on. So that doesn't really fit the MO of revenge unless they were part of something else, and maybe that cutscene back was a different couple, but then the other characters all died. So I don't know. But the girl got like this mistaken identity because she took on the persona and the appearance of Brandy from earlier, which plays in more to that wig thing that I was talking about. But I just thought that you could just do it with her real hair, but that's a budgetary thing, and it's so fake. As a hairdresser, I know I talk about this all the time, but like super fake wigs like that, low budget, I get it, you can't afford a good one, but fuck man, it's so bad, it's so noticeable, it takes you out of the movie every damn time. But yeah, there's the whole revenge thing, protecting the mom, and I don't know if I don't feel like it added up, but at the same time, these are psychopaths. They can get revenge and kill random people if they want. So even if that is the case, I can't question the motives of a lunatic. Doing the chicken dance. There's a scene that I wasn't expecting to see Kane Hodder in his 60s now, and he's just like balking and like inside his little mask there. That was a fun, cute little scene because I mean, come on, this is Bill Moseley. This is a guy who can give us an iconic performance. He can be an Otis Driftwood. He can be a freaking Chop Top. He can be, he's got that range. He's got that excitable nature that is very appealing to us horror fans. But he's just kind of underutilized here, and that's just because of bad directing and poor writing. And Kane Hodder is just kind of buried behind a mask yet again. And I would love to see him actually have some lines and whatnot. I don't know how good of an actor he is. I don't know how much shit I've seen him in. I've seen him in a couple things. His best role being, the gorilla suit guy in House 2. Just kidding. Not kidding, because I fucking love that movie, but he has 2 seconds in that movie. House 2 fans will get the joke. The whole, don't worry, I'm a paramedic line, it's fine. It's used too many times. But, I mean, it is, the tagline of the movie. Although on the tagline, it's he's a paramedic, but close enough. And, yeah, it's kind of funny that they're doing this, match cut of, the girl getting done up and kind of stealing Brandy's persona and becoming hot, even though the girl's way hotter in my opinion. Before she does that, she's such a hot chick. It's so stupid to pretend that she's not, but she is supposed to be not attractive, or at least she sees herself that way. And this is more of a mental barrier thing, but she is becoming hot, and Brandy is, or Brooke, I keep calling her Brandy, sorry, whatever, it doesn't matter. But Brooke is having her looks taken away because they dump kerosene or gasoline or something on her face and light it on fire and then leave her there to just fucking sit there in misery. But yeah, it's just kind of, it's a fun contrasting match cut scene. As I said, there's kind of back and forth, like they're doing the exact opposite. One's becoming hot while the other one's becoming hot. Not so hot. Fire joke. I'm better than that. Let's see. Yeah, but as I said, we got the mistaken identity here, which is okay. And I mean, she does all that to impress a guy. Jesus Christ. And this guy gets kind of away with it. He kind of becomes the hero, where he knocks her out of the way of the thing. I mean, they end up supposedly getting killed. It's left open for your interpretation of if he hit them or not. But I'm guessing we're supposed to believe that he did. No one got away, but he does have his heroic moment at the end, and I'm like, dude, I'm still fucking mad at you for running some chick down on the road. I know what you did last summer style and trying to drive off. Fuck you, Ryan Phillippe. This ain't happening, dude. I'm not gonna care for you. So, give a shit how many girls you save. This is just not gonna be my thing. And I like that she gets stabbed in the boob here and their breast implants leaking. Reminds me of a Scary Movie. It's Carmen Electra, right? Stabs and pulls it out. Fucking breast implants on there. I always like that. We've seen that in a few films now. I mean, as the years go on, you're going to see more calls to the amounts of surgeries we have. I mean, how many women have fake boobs now. You can't help but address it. And I think, yeah, I mean, Kane Hodder turns on Bill Moseley here, and puts his face in like a freaking wood chipper or something like that. I don't know what the hell the thing is for sure, but something of that sort, which would have been cool if we could have seen more. It's not like a Silent Night, Deadly Night, the remake Silent Night, which is barely a remake, but we get to see a gorgeous, holy shit, this girl is running around for like 5 straight minutes naked, and she's fantastic looking, which sucks because it's like you don't want to see her die, but she gets thrown in this wood chipper feet first. It's fucking gnarly. So, I mean, I know they didn't have the budget to properly do some gore here, but I feel like they could have cut down on some things and amped up others or whatever. I don't know. All right, I'm done harping on this movie. I didn't expect to talk about this for 25 minutes, but it is Slasher Sunday, so I like to give it its full, run through, kind of break down as many details as I can that I care about. At this point, I don't care anymore if I missed anything. Oh well. So, yeah, only $5, so that's good. But obviously, I wouldn't recommend it. And I'm hoping this is it. Like, hopefully you didn't watch it and you're seeing it now and you're like, oh, good, I didn't. Now I got to hear about the movie and it sounds pretty lame. Although, of course, you can always check it out for yourself, disagree with me, and think it's a masterpiece. Good for you. I hope you enjoyed it. But other than that, all right, guys, good night. I will talk about My Monster Party soon enough, and I look forward to that. So, as I said, horror show. I never asked for a subscription, but I'll give them some. Go over and check them out. Just throw them a subscription, and then just, you'll probably see here and there, you'll see my face pop up, I'm sure. The Tales from the Crypt Revisited thing, like, check that out. If anything that I'm in on there, check that out, because that's fucking fantastic, I assure you. We had a technical difficulty where we lost 7 minutes of that. We'll have the audio. I'm not sure how they're going to do that, but there's some really fun surprises in there, guys. For real, you should be looking forward to the Tales from the Crypt Revisited between me and Fuego. We had such a good time. It's awesome. I made a big mistake in it, though. I corrected Fuego, and he was right, and I was wrong, and I stepped in and like an asshole and was like, no, it isn't. Oh my God. I'll talk about that at another time, but Jesus, man, sometimes I just need to shut the fuck up. So on that note, adios.